Mrs. Wilson felt like she'd been struck by lightning. How could this happen? Could Charlie really have that much pull? Did even the White family cut ties with the Wilson family? The thought made her heart ache. She wanted to beg Solomon not to abandon the Wilson family, but he completely ignored her. After announcing they were breaking things off, he swaggered off with Gerald. Wendy broke down, sobbing. She had been with Gerald for years, gave him everything, and now it was all gone. Because of this, a deep hatred for her grandmother festered inside her. Her father, Noah, was also completely devastated. He had sided with Mrs. Wilson and turned his back on his own brother's family, but he hadn't gotten anything out of it. Even worse, his son was injured and arrested, and now his daughter was being dumped by her fiancé's family. It was a devastating loss he couldn't recover from. He complained to Mrs. Wilson, "Mom, I listened to you on everything, but my family has lost too much at this point." Mrs. Wilson tried to calm them down. "Don't panic. What's there to be anxious about? We just need to post bail to get Harold out. And as for Wendy's engagement, what's there to worry about? A beautiful girl like our Wendy will have no trouble finding a husband. I bet wealthy men will be lining up to go out with her by tomorrow." Then Mrs. Wilson added, "And don't forget, we still have the Emgrand Group contract. This is our family's chance to make a comeback. If we win this, we won't need to rely on anyone in the future. Why would we need to depend on the rich? We'll be the rich ones." Noah Wilson quickly asked, "Mom, that Emgrand Group project was in Claire's hands. Now that she's been kicked out of the Wilson Group, that project and the director position should go to someone else, right?" "Change it? Of course we'll change it," Mrs. Wilson blurted out. "Don't you worry, I'm giving the position to Harold. As soon as he's out, he'll be the new director of the Wilson Group, and he'll be completely in charge of the partnership with the Emgrand Group." Noah was overjoyed and felt a wave of relief. He was finally getting some comfort. The loss had been so huge, and if Mrs. Wilson didn't make it up to him somehow, it would have been unbearable. Now that the project was going to his son, Harold would have a chance to get back on his feet. Then, Mrs. Wilson urged, there can't be any mistakes with the Emgrand Group partnership. When the time comes, Harold needs to give it his all. We have to nail this project and maybe even get more work from the Emgrand Group. Noah said immediately, "Mom, don't worry. I'll make sure Harold gives it his all." As he was speaking, someone knocked on the door. A moment later, a woman in a suit walked into the yard of the Wilson family mansion. "Excuse me, is Mrs. Wilson home?" she asked. Mrs. Wilson went to greet her. "I am. Who are you?" the woman replied. "Hello, I'm the chief counsel for the Emgrand Group." When she heard she was from the Emgrand Group, Mrs. Wilson became very enthusiastic. "Oh my, the chief counsel for the Emgrand Group. Please, come in, come in." "No, thank you," the woman said coldly. "I'm just here to personally deliver a letter from our attorneys." "A letter from your attorneys?" Mrs. Wilson asked. "What kind of letter?" The woman stated flatly, "It's a notice of contract termination. After careful consideration, the Emgrand Group has decided to end all cooperation with the Wilson family. We will not have any form of partnership with the Wilson family in the future. Once you receive this letter, you have 3 days to go to the Emgrand Group to finalize the termination procedures." "What?" For Mrs. Wilson and Noah, this was a bolt from the blue. Just a moment ago, they were saying the Emgrand Group was the one thing the Wilson family could count on for their comeback. Now the Emgrand Group was here to terminate the contract, and they would never work with the Wilson family again? This was a blacklist. Mrs. Wilson asked, her voice trembling, "Miss, what's going on? Why is this happening? Wasn't our partnership going well?" The lawyer said coldly, "Our partnership with Miss Claire Wilson was going very well, but I heard she has left the Wilson Group. I'm sorry, but we have no interest in working with the rest of you anymore." Only then did Mrs. Wilson understand. It was all because of Claire. A sudden rage burned in her. Why? Why did everything have to revolve around that worthless granddaughter? She was a loser. She even married a loser. The Wilson family is mine. I, Mrs. Wilson, have the final say. You should be showing me respect. Why her? Why does it all come down to her? She raged internally. Mrs. Wilson was furious. She blurted out, "Your Emgrand Group claims to be a big, reputable company. How can you just unilaterally terminate our contract like this? Aren't you afraid we'll take you to court? Aren't you worried this will damage your company's reputation when people find out?" The lawyer gave a cool smile. "Mrs. Wilson, haven't you read the contract? For all external partnerships, the Emgrand Group reserves the right to unilaterally terminate the agreement. That's the privilege of Client A. Haven't you ever heard the expression, 'In any project, Client A calls the shots'?" Then the lawyer added, "And so what if everyone in Heir's Hill or even the whole country knows we cut ties with you? We are completely within our legal rights. And I'm not trying to scare you, Mrs. Wilson, but the Emgrand Group is a huge name in this country. When we blacklist a company, other companies generally don't dare to work with them. So, as for the Wilson Group, I wish you luck." "You?" Mrs. Wilson was stunned into silence by her words. Blacklisted by the Emgrand Group. How could they possibly survive this? Was the Wilson Group finished? If a construction company has no one willing to work with them, there's only one way it ends. Bankruptcy. No, it can't be. Mrs. Wilson was hysterical. The Wilson Group was hers. The Wilson Group was supposed to become a leader, to make her an object of everyone's respect. It was supposed to let her enjoy endless glory and wealth. It couldn't go bankrupt. It just couldn't. Thinking of this, Mrs. Wilson burst into tears and begged, "Miss, I'm begging you. I'm an old woman. Please, talk to Doris Young. Tell her I'm begging for mercy. The Wilson Group's entire future is riding on the partnership with your company. You can't abandon us now." The lawyer sneered. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Wilson. The decision to cut ties and blacklist you came directly from our chairman. Our chairman also said that disrespectful, shameless people like you are not worthy of partnering with us." After speaking, she dropped the termination letter on the ground, turned, and left. Mrs. Wilson was so overcome with anger that she coughed up a mouthful of blood and collapsed to the ground, unconscious. News that the Emgrand Group had blacklisted the Wilson Group spread quickly. Just as all of Heir's Hill was learning that the Wilson family was finished, word got out that Mrs. Wilson had been rushed to the hospital in a state of distress. When Jacob heard the news, he was surprisingly calm. He told his daughter and son-in-law, with Mom's personality, always needing to control everyone, it was only a matter of time before she crashed and burned. There's no reason to feel sorry for her. Let her think about it in the hospital. Maybe she can finally figure out where she went wrong in life. Charlie felt that Jacob was usually pretty clueless, so it was rare to see him grasp the situation so clearly. While the family breathed a sigh of relief, his wife Claire quietly started looking for a job. In the evening, Charlie had just finished cooking when he suddenly heard the front door open. He turned around and saw Jacob walking in with a big smile on his face, full of energy. Seeing how happy Jacob looked, Charlie couldn't help but ask, "Dad, you look happy. Did something good happen on your walk?" "Today is my lucky day," Jacob said joyfully. "After I took those pills you gave me, not only did the pain in my body disappear, but my energy is way up. It's a miracle cure." "So I just went for a walk through the vintage market. Guess who I ran into?" "Who?" A bad feeling crept into Charlie's gut. Had Jacob been swindled by some con artist again? He quickly looked Jacob up and down and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, his hands were empty. Jacob took a sip of herbal tea and said, mysteriously, "Charlie, you remember that con artist Irvin Jones from the vintage market, right?" "I remember. What happened?" "I ran into that guy as soon as I got there today." Charlie was alarmed. "Dad, you didn't buy something from him again, did you?" "No," Jacob waved his hand and said happily, "this Irvin Jones, Now that he knows I'm your father-in-law, he wouldn't dare try anything funny. Not only did he give me an antique emerald pendant, he also helped me sell those pills." Charlie frowned. The antique emerald pendant Irvin gave Jacob was probably a fake, but it was strange that he had actually helped Jacob sell medicine. "What pill?" "It's the medicine you made for me to treat my injuries." Jacob slapped his thigh and said, "My injuries are all healed." Irvin heard how effective the pill is and said he had a way to sell them for me, so I gave him 2 pills. I didn't expect him to actually sell them. Charlie was dumbfounded. The pills weren't anything rare, and his father-in-law would have just thrown them away if he couldn't finish them. But this Irvin was a real opportunist, even managing to sell leftover medicine. "Dad, you can't just sell medicine like that." Jacob said, "I don't know about that." Anyway, Irvin helped me sell the medicine. Guess how much it sold for? Over $1,000? "That's not even a fraction," Jacob said triumphantly and slapped the table. "It was $500,000. Charlie was drinking water and spits it all out. He couldn't believe it. A pill that cost less than $100 to make was sold for $500,000 by a hustler like Irvin Jones?